Hello guys, welcome to another video for the Nasson Restoration. I'm Rob, and today I'm gonna work on parts for the cradle, for the elevation system. And since normally a drawing like this, sheet metal, you make it in such a way that you can unfold it. But if I unfold this one, then it doesn't work because the way I drew it up is wrong for the computer program to be able to work with it. So I'm gonna copy the faces, and then on paper I'm gonna write down what I need to add, because here I have a little opening, and the curve here, this part where the straight edge stops is about 3 millimeters from this flange, so I need to add about 3 millimeters to be able to assemble it correctly. And there are a few little things like that I need to add, and then I can make it, just cut it out from sheet metal, and that's it. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I have printed a test sample to see if the measurements are correct. If I printed scale 1:1, and it is from this side, this one, and you can see a little opening here, so I can measure that, and that's from that point to that point, and it's about 3.7 millimeters. So I would have to add it, and then yeah, I just write it on the drawing that I need to add that much. And I'm gonna measure some lengths just to see if it's correct. 41, that's correct. $185, that's correct too. So it's, I can assume it's scale 1:1 now. Do one more on this side. 38. And that's also the same. So you see here a curve, and if I measure from that surface to about there, it's about 3 millimeters, and I can see where it measures it. So I add 3 millimeters to the sheet on that point, and then should be okay. So on the drawing I added the dimensions, and if I cut out these lines, it's the parts that I need, so I have to do it to the rest as well, and then I can start on the elevation part. I'll show you the entire part. Let's see where that drawing is. This part, because this is what I need. Cradle elevation. I was looking for just elevation, so and this is the part. So I'm gonna look to make this today. Gonna finish all the printing. So I made all the printings and adjustments. Made this one as well, so I know which part goes where. And then for the other side it's all a mirror image, so I can cut the sheet metal and then just turn over the sheet and tack weld it to the rest of the part. So now I can cut it out. Got a big stack, little extra material, so cut this part out and then I can cut it from the sheet metal. See you later. Hello guys, I'm at the workshop now. I'm gonna mark it up on this sheet, 6mm sheet metal. Got all the parts, need 2 of each, and then I'm gonna cut it with the grinder because the compressor I have here is too small to cut all these parts because it's a lot of small pieces. It can't keep up with the plasma cutter, and it's a lot of work to set it up on the other side, so I'm gonna cut it with the grinder. But first, mark it up. So that was the last one. Now cutting. So I have protected the camera from most dust, but I'm not going to film everything. I think you will get it after a few pieces, and I'm gonna put the camera away to protect it. So let's grind. First piece, see 2 different discs, something, I don't know what's about this disc, but it doesn't cut that well as this one, so I'm gonna throw this one away or save it for other material. And I just thought of, we have like a mask for grinding, but I didn't have the batteries for it. We lost it in the fire, but I got replacements now, so I'm gonna get it first. Okay, I'm back. This is the grinding helmet I was talking about. You're probably wondering why didn't you get batteries sooner, because the fire was about 2 years ago. But we actually didn't know this one survived the fire till 4 months ago, so I was looking for new batteries for that. You can buy them for 160, 170 euros, but I was looking also for the welding helmet that uses the same system. For a good price, used one, because new is like 1,500 euros. So found a set with extra batteries, so we're good now. So the cast was full before I was finished, but you can see the desk is getting very small now. Up to here I was able to get through, but I could change the disc, but then I end up with discs that I cannot use for much. So I kept scoring the lines as deep as possible, and now I'm gonna change it so that, yeah, you get the most out of a disc. Using the grinding helmet is not only for keeping the dust out of your lungs, but also for the grinding, the metal shavings, preventing from getting them in your eyes. I used safety goggles before and still got something in my eye. So yeah, the better the gear, this is ultimate. It has air filter, and yeah, it pushes air out, fresh air in. So even for hot weather it's great to use. And also you can get closer to the grindings for better view. Got the pieces cut out of the sheet, but still have some leftovers to cut off, so I'm gonna do that next. The last phase is cleaning up the edges and preparing for welding. So from paper to steel in I think about a few hours. So let's see. It's quite a good fit, so I'm happy with it, and I'm gonna tack weld them together in a minute. Yesterday I had to repair my welder. This is part of the torch, and this tube started tearing off, and I had an old one laying around, so I could still repair it, and I can still weld, so that's good. Oh, this is the elevation unit. Took it out of the rest of the cradle. Bearings come off. You can see these are self-aligning bearings. So when one side would be in a bit of an angle, it's not really a problem, but yeah, having two, then they need to align anyway, so not really necessary. It's a bit of a loose fit, but I'm going to use some Loctite to secure the inner race to the shaft, to the trunnion. Otherwise, when this starts to spin, it would destroy this. But obviously it only moves a little bit up and down, so that shouldn't be a problem anyway. So I'm gonna put them away like this so they will stay clean, and then I put them in the cupboard. So these are the parts that I'm gonna make. So one side and then the other side. This is pointing forward, so I need to turn it around, and this is forward of the gun. This stuff is anti-splatter liquid, especially for the trunnion, because the bearing sits on it. If splatter comes on it, you can wipe it off very easily. So the one on this side where all the numbers are is for the other side. So I'm going to do that side first. It's easier. The sheet metal, the two plates, will lie aligned with just the corner. Because it's very difficult to align the corners, I put it on top of one in an angle, and then where the corners meet on the correct spacing I will tack it, and then you can bend it so it's easier to tack like this. Looks like this piece needs to come in a little bit, so we'll do the other side first. Because these angles also are not 90 degrees, so this makes it more difficult. But in general it should fit like this. And it looks like I have a little bit too much material on this side, but I have to check the drawings first to see what this measurement is, so I can make it fit better. So for now I will leave it like this. Now it's still easy to fix any minor mistakes. I think I made a mistake. Well, I was mistaking in the side. I think it should be this side. Like this, it fits a lot better. But I still will check the drawings to be sure. And you have a block in here, 45mm thick, going around with the hole for the trunnion inside, and then we'll end about here, and then here there will be a 70mm thick block for the shock absorbers. It looks like this plate actually fits quite well, and I moved it down a bit now so the entire part fits a bit better. Also this line looks a bit better, and I think this still needs to be moved up a bit. Although I still have the gap here, but yeah, I will check what that's about. I can also move this part in a bit. I know that this surface should be in line, and it's pretty close. This edge needs to go in, or this one needs to come out a little bit. And for this one it needs to go in, or this one needs to come out. I quickly made a drawing with measurements I need. This part I didn't print before, but I've got it now. But at work we have a big brake press, so I'm gonna cut them out and bend them at work when I have time. But for now I will finish these pieces. So these need to move in a little bit. Well, not that bad. Thickness is okay for this one. This one is a millimeter too thick, so I will adjust that. Made some adjustments. This one was sticking out a bit too far, but tapping it in, it didn't bend enough. It kept springing back, but then you can weld it, and when it's still red, you can tap it and it still moves. So now it's okay. It's flush. This one needs to go in a bit. Still an opening here, and apparently I forgot to add some material to this side. So, but I can weld it with a low setting, so it shouldn't be a problem. So that was a good one. Perfect. But this line is still a little bit off, but I need make the block, and then I will make it fit to the block. Got these two pieces bent at work today. So now it's time to bend this piece to this curve. So I weld a little bit, bend it a bit, and I weld it a bit more. So that's one piece. I have tack welded two pieces on. It's more clearly what is going to be. I also welded the top tube on, which is a type of gas tube. Which you also have on the hatch of a car when it compresses. When you close the hatch, and when it opens, it pushes it open, and this is to push the barrel back in place. It's also more clear the shape of the blocks that are going to be made. I'm going to cut them by laser at work, and it's that block and that block. That block is for the shock absorbers in front, and that's for strengthening the trunnion. But that will be for the next video. So that's it for this show. Parts are tack welded in place. I cut out the other piece, and hopefully this week I have some time to bend it at work. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.